This conference will now be recorded.
Says it's recording. It's Fred. I didn't hear her voice.
Yeah, works for me. So thank you, everybody. I call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Thursday, October 6th. Before we jump into the agenda, I did want to take a minute. I know the village took a moment of silence for firefighter Nate Walker. I figured if there's no objections, figured we'd take a minute here just to take a quick moment of silence, just in honor. And we realize the fire department's been through a lot the last week, but a couple weeks, but I figured we'd just take a minute. So with that, if you just bow your heads, take a minute. Thank you, appreciate that. Again, appreciate the flexibility too for everything going on and shifting this around. I know it's a short staff, but we'll get through this, so appreciate it. There is a quorum. The agenda was properly posted. Public's opportunity to speak. I don't think anybody here to speak. Moving on, discuss and consider the minutes from the August 22nd meeting.
I move approval as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Chief report.
Okay, you all have a copy of this in your packet, but I'll just read through it real quick. Total staff, we're sitting at 41 people right now, which consists of 10 officers, 1 driver operator, 23 full firefighters, and 7 probationary members. As of today, we're at 225 calls for the year. If this continues on its path, it would be about around 292 calls at the end of the year.
Where is that? Is that more or less or?
That's less than last year.
Okay.
Last year we finished with 328. So of those calls, 100 were in the village, 55 were in the town, 34 were in Pleasant Springs, and 36 were mutual aid to other departments. All the truck maintenance has been completed for the year except for tender 2. They were supposed to pick it up today, but they called in sick, so didn't get done today. It's supposed to be done tomorrow now. Tender 1 has a water tank leak. It didn't before it went for service, and when it came back from service, it did. So trying to figure out how we're going to get that fixed. So we're working with the service company and the manufacturer because tank has a lifetime warranty on it. So try to get that fixed. Engine 3 had a power steering leak. They came and fixed that today. That was under warranty, so that's done. Training, we had a house donated to us in Pleasant Springs. We'll be doing as much training as possible in it until we burn it down, with a burn date of March 11th is the tentative date. Staff milestones, Aaron Ezel is at 1 year. He's actually currently deployed in Afghanistan or Qatar. So he's on leave, but he's still he's still considered a member. Angela Elmer has been on for 1 year. Thomas Grob has been on for 4 years, and Arlen Mag for 12 years. The department so far is still in the running for AFG grant, so I don't know. I'm assuming at some point we're going to get a letter saying that we didn't get it, but we're hopeful. So
Our fingers crossed.
Crew of Engine 4 was given a Valor Award from Firehouse Magazine for a call response in 2021. This is a nationally published magazine, and it's a big honor to be given it. So that was good news. And then we added one member just the other day on Tuesday, and obviously we lost one member. So.
Thank you, Chief. Next item, discuss and consider emergency services building repair account balance.
We have a copy of that. There's $7,800 left in. Wait. That's what we want to spend. There's 40,187 in the repair fund balance, but what we committed 18,000 for the replacement of the island.
Yeah.
How much was in the budget for that?
18,000. So you'd still have 22.
What was that? You said there was 7,800 left in a different.
Oh, I was looking at what we had, what he wants for expenses maybe this year or next year.
Oh,
Yeah. We have to decide which year we're going to do those in.
that's helpful. And then this one too, the way I wrote this one was based on your question, did we want to keep the 20K for next year, or did we want to change that?
I'd asked John Williams, and because he was at EMS meeting, and he said leave it at 20 each, and
Okay.
I'm fine with that. So
If we're gonna leave it at 20, I don't think we need to make a motion. We'll just leave it. So, okay, cool. Unless there's any objections, just move on to the next one.
seems like we always find something to spend it on.
Hey man, once a building gets 20 years older, I mean, stuff breaks, so it is what it is. Next one, discuss and consider building office space.
That one actually worked itself out. So we need to discuss it.
Moving right along then, discuss and consider cost for fishbowl remodel.
So I attached 3 different quotes. They're all from the same company. I know normally we try to get 2 quotes from different companies, but the person who gave us the quote is actually on the department, and he's not charging any labor. He's just charging materials. So I don't think there's anybody that would be able to beat that price.
Yeah.
You know, can do it all for free. So of the 3 quotes, I think the one that we wanted to do was the, let's see,
Butcher block, or do you have 17?
number 18, the butcher block one, because
Like,
he actually already made benches for us out of that. And the countertop, if we made it, they would match. And I mean, butcher block is pretty indestructible. Like even if you buy like a just cheap laminate cap countertop, you know, it could chip and damage like we already had in there. So if somebody somehow damages a butcher block, you could just sand it back down and repaint it. So I thought it would kind of last forever. So that would be estimate number 18.
number 8.
I put them all as an agenda item number 8, but at the top right corner, the estimate numbers.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 18.
I would make the motion that we go with estimate number 18 and do it this year using the ESOB property repair funds that we have left over in 22.
Second.
Motion and a second. Beat me to it, but I was gonna say. Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Sorry.
All good. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Estimate number 18 it is. Awesome. Moving on, discuss and consider electrical quote for fire station sign. The sign broke again.
So,
The
Just a little-
electrical,
yeah, so what happened was when that sign was installed, it was actually more so when the pole was, there never used to be a pole in front, and they added that a few years ago. So what happened was there was a junction box right by the pole, and they had to tie into it to add the pole and then cut over to the sign. And that box has been filling with water. And then they just kind of ran under, they reused the underground feeder wire for the old sign to the new one. And somewhere between the new junction box for the sign and the old box, it broke underground. So we had to temporarily run wire over the top, over the ground to get it powered up. So I think they were gonna come in, tear out that box that's full of water, replace it, and then actually run conduit so that this doesn't happen again.
I think that's the second time that that wire's been replaced.
Yeah. In my time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been within the last year and a half.
So they put the conduit in there and be done with
Yeah,
it.
you might as well.
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the estimate as written.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one, discuss and consider remaining 2022 emergency services building projects. Examples include carpet cleaning, stripping, wet floors, reading room upgrades, cabinets, and gear racks.
So in your packet, I attached a few items for quotes. The first item is a new gear rack. We would like to add one more rack to the wall. It would actually be the east wall over here by the squad. Currently, we use like a rolling rack right there, and it actually sticks out from the wall. And it's kind of inconvenient, so we'd rather just put a permanent wall-mounted rack and get rid of that rolling one. So that is the 120520. That doesn't include the freight, which they wouldn't give me an estimate of freight, but I think Chris and I talked about it. I think we added a couple $100 to that estimate for shipping. So
Question on our last motion, was that money going to come from the ESOB
Yes,
fund?
sorry.
I assume so.
Yep. No, thank you. Thank you. I should have been more clear. Nick, for the ready rack, how many, I don't know what else to call it. How many lockers do you end up with?
that's 4 extra lockers.
Okay.
Are you gonna need any more in the future? I mean, I'm assuming there are 4, 8, 12.
The 4 is the biggest one we can get that'll fit in that spot.
Oh, okay.
Because the garage door. We limit our membership to 50. We're currently at 41. And there are open lockers obviously right now, so,
I'm,
I mean, maybe a ways down the road, but I think right now we'll be fine with just this one.
okay.
And then you got the safety cabinet.
Yeah, we've been using this metal cabinet over there for our flammables for forever. And it's really not legal. It's actually against fire code, so it's kind of not, so we should probably replace it with a flammables cabinet, so we follow the fire code.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
You don't want to sit there and have to write yourself a violation.
Yeah. So, this is one that's pretty similar in size to the cabinet that we have right now, and it's flammable rated. It would get us in compliance with the code.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 120520 plus the freight and the 158210 for the safety cabinet using the ESOB repair funds.
Second.
I have a motion in a second. As far as discussion, what about this floor stripping and waxing? Or do you want to keep
We'll
it?
get to that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I'm just taking a step at a time.
Let's have it. I got it. Oh, good. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Which then strip and wax floors.
This quote came from the people that we have cleaning the building now.
Yeah.
And you walked through it and showed them.
We were supposed to walk through and show him where we wanted, but he came on, we didn't tell him when he was supposed to meet us.
So,
So then
okay.
he just came his normal cleaning day and did it, but he's got written here the whole lower level,
Yeah,
which is the basement.
and
And
the
then
main level, all
the
the
main level,
tile
all the
rooms.
Yeah.
That's what he verbally told me when I asked him. It was all the current tile flooring, strip and wax.
And he's been cleaning the town halls for how long?
This is their first year. And we've used Crystal cleaners. So far, we're happy. Haven't had any complaints from anybody.
We accept the bid for $29.78. Stripping and waxing from Crystal Cleaners. Take the money out of the ESOB fund.
Second.
Do it this year?
Yeah,
Second.
this year.
Who's second?
I think my wife just hired this guy to clean her house too. I think my wife just hired this guy to clean her house.
Well, then you're gonna know first of all.
I'm gonna find out real quick. Motion and a second, any discussion? On waxing and stripping and waxing the floor. No. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And here. Discuss and consider 2023 budget recommendation for emergency services building. Got it. Open up all the attachments here.
Okay, when I talked to Eric, he's on, he had indicated in the lower level where the PD had been there, now EMS is now using that and it's carpeted. He would either like to have it cleaned or else maybe we should look at taking the carpet up and just tiling it. But I don't know what anyone's preference or
I mean,
thoughts are on it.
I mean, technically, as far as cleaning, it would be better if it was tile, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Or easier to maintain, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna wear a lot
just
longer.
Yeah. So, but did they have any prices for that or?
No, because I don't know which way to go.
Eric, are you there?
I am. I put forth no effort to get a price. I would agree with the tiling because when we use it, we'd like to use it for training purposes, and that might involve some fluid for training purposes, like a vomiting mannequin or some other things. that could leak out on the floor, and it's a lot easier to avoid stains and clean up if it were to be tile. I can put forth the effort if you request.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to request and see if we even got the money for it this year yet.
Put on the next budget,
Yeah.
next agenda.
Make a note of that.
Is that something Grub could do? Would quote, or
Yeah,
I don't know who would call to get quotes on for that.
that one he probably wouldn't donate his time for that one. That's a little bit bigger job, but I think he could probably give you a quote for it.
Yeah,
Do it.
Okay, I'll put that on the next agenda.
And I think because the areas of the basement are all pretty expansive, we would do probably incremental quotes. There's the one big main area that is probably the dirtiest, but the other smaller rooms might be easier to tackle sooner. So we can take a peek at that. Would removing the carpet from the storage room that you're going to use, Nick, be advantageous to you as well?
Yeah, probably.
I think it's tile underneath that carpet. Or it was at one point.
Yeah, I mean, the room that we have's got carpet and it's got a stain in it, but we're just using it for storage. So yeah, it'd be easier to clean it, like you said, if it was carpet, or not carpet, tile.
tile.
God.
How big a room is that?
It's an office,
It's an office?
10 by 12.
10 by 12 or something like
that.
that. It makes a good point.
Downstairs.
Yeah,
Look underneath it and see what's there.
I think that squad room.
I mean, you might as well get the quote for everything then.
Yeah, just break it out
Break it out
by
into
room.
rooms or sections or however you want
That squad room might have carpet or might have tile under it. I don't know if we carpeted it for EMS,
You see, that was police when it opened.
right? But it was a squad room,
Mhm.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it had tile under it or not. Make life cheaper, just strip and wax it,
to
but
pull it up. See what's underneath it, I guess. I mean, I don't,
I remember.
there's what?
I remember having tile. Who knows what they
For a
did
lot
when
of
they
stuff.
put carpet in.
I would have thought it would have been carpeted
No.
because it was squad room when they when police moved into it. But
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
somebody
want the
pull a
carpet.
corner.
we can
Pull up a corner.
We'll pull up a corner and we'll check if it's tile, we'll check all the areas that have carpet. If it's all tile, then
It saves us some,
save
Yeah.
some time, but
or money, especially.
it's kind of weird. I would think it'd be weird to just carpet right over tile, Can't see anything.
Yeah, it feels like the carpet is glued directly to the whatever is underneath it. So if there had been tile there, as Nick said, it would be kind of odd that they would glue carpet directly to tile.
What kind
Clearly
of
don't
carpet
watch.
is it? Is it indoor, outdoor, or?
Yeah.
Probably. But like, you guys need to watch more HGTV. Like, seriously. Like, people do weird things all the time.
Yeah.
There's only one way to find out.
Especially in buildings that are 25 years old.
Yeah.
We'll check, and if there isn't tile or there is tile and it's really damaged, then I can ask Rob if he's interested in doing it, or I don't know.
You might, I mean, you might.
See who
You
you
gotta
can
start
find to get a
somewhere.
quote.
I mean, even if it's, let's just say best case scenario, even if there's carpet is glued to tile, you still gotta strip
Clean that
and clean it. And
Well, yeah, and not to mention the fact that you gotta make sure it's not asbestos tile. That would be a nightmare.
Well, that-
It's 99 for the buildings. So
Yeah, I don't-
Okay,
shouldn't be any asbestos in there.
No,
I just know that we ran into that problem when we were doing a school.
I don't think a building made in the mid-90s would have had.
Early 90s was like the very last cutoff was like 1991 was the last time they started really used anything that was asbestos, and it was mostly wrapping, like pipe wrapping and stuff.
yeah.
So I think that building there shouldn't
Okay,
be
just, I
any-
mean, it's just a thought.
You never know, they might have found a discount.
Yeah.
No, we
Hey,
tried not
that's
to go
free.
cheap.
Found this box of
No,
oils.
it's free, honestly.
WisconsinSurplus.com.
We were watching our dollars, but we didn't go cheap.
Want to say when we had the interns, when they were doing fire and EMS, I want to say that's when carpet got put in there.
Mhm.
Only because I remember the rubber stuff they put down along the wall.
Yeah.
How they put the carpet down, because that was the last time I think the EMS, well, the EMS offices may have been done since then, but they redid them at one point because it'd been 10, 15 years, I think the stuff was getting from walking in and out. So we'll take a look. We'll go all HGTV on them. Demo day.
Take it down.
Okay.
Homes on homes, nobody? Cool. Anything else on this agenda item?
I don't think so.
Moving on, discuss and consider changes to the 2023 operating budget.
All right, last month you guys approved the operating budget, but I changed one line item after current events. I guess they changed the fuel for the joint owned apparatus. They increased that up to 12,000. The main reason is that prices were falling, but they're kind of plateaued right now, and they just
They're gonna
announced.
go up. They're gonna
Yeah,
go up.
they're cutting OPEC
Yeah.
cutting production, so I'm guessing that fuel's gonna go back up
Yeah.
pretty high, so I wanted to add extra money in there for contingency in case it continues to climb.
Nick, which item is that?
That's the second item in the joint owned apparatus fuel.
Fuel.
So it was 7,000, I increased it
Oh,
to
okay.
12.
Yep. That's the only change though, otherwise?
Only change, yep.
Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the L1 replacement plan for the 2023 budget recommendation.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next one, discuss and consider 2023 capital budget. I know we talked through this one, Nick, but I've been noticing the other committees have been like doing a formal discussing, so that's why I just put that on there.
2023? We originally had stuff on 2023, but like what was on there was the SCBA system, but we just got the grant for that, so we
That's
didn't
right.
buy that.
Okay.
And then the squad was originally on 2023, but because it's not going to be delivered till 2024, it was pushed back into the 2024 capital budget.
Okay.
So really there's, what?
You have extrication tools on there.
In 2026 was extrication tools.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, yeah, there's nothing really on 2023 for
Oh,
capital. But I included a copy if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, then I don't think we need a motion, so that makes it easy.
Yep.
Next one, yeah, Nick, walk me through this one. I thought we were gonna have this because you were gonna come, but then we didn't.
Yeah,
That's Monday,
so really it was just to bring it up that, you know, because the joint fire committee didn't really discuss it. The original, I presented you guys a couple months ago about replacing ladder one earlier because of the price increases that are coming down. You know, we waited till 2027 to order it. You're gonna end up paying significantly more for the same truck because how they're doing their increases now. So after that, Dave asked me to put together a presentation for the village to present purchasing it earlier, what it would look like, how much potential savings we could do. So we've been working on getting prices. I guess I'm just wondering, I kind of just put it on here, wanted to say that we're working on that because the JFC didn't know. And two, like, is there a realistic appetite to do that on both municipalities, I guess, is kind of what I'm looking at.
Well, I think, you know, I mean, I guess I just soon wait and see what happens come 27 or 26.
Yeah,
That's
just,
another
a lot of
3
money. That's a
years.
lot of money.
You know,
I mean, that, that's like, what, our share would be $1 million roughly.
So right now, we've gotten one price back. We're waiting on the other one. The one price that we got back was 1.77 million for the truck.
And that's for both the town and.
That's the total cost of the
Total
truck
cost.
right now.
Yep.
There's a price increase coming in November. That's 7%. There's another one coming in February. There'll be probably multiple next year. They can't even tell you how many price increases they have. Originally, typically when you budget for a truck, you figure 1 to 3% increase per year when you're writing out your budgets. But
It's
what
been
they told us,
twice.
what they told us was like 5 to 8%. And even that got blown out the window because they had like an 8% increase earlier this year, and now they're having a
Do
6.
multiple rate hikes in
Multiple.
the same year of 5 to 8%
Yeah.
per hike. So it's,
Yeah,
So if you're
it's
talking
gonna
about
get-
starting
It's
in-
gonna get ugly in a hurry.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about a $1.7 million truck, if you have multiple, even I just kind of figured it at one increase at 8%. By the time you order it in 2026, 2027, you're talking half to $750,000 more for the same truck.
Basically $1 million
So-
for the township.
So, and I guess the argument was that if you ordered it right now, realistically, you'd probably order it it'd be like the end of this year or early next year you ordered it. It wouldn't be here till 2020, late 2025, early 2026. So you'd be 2 years earlier than you originally planned,
How many years?
2.5.
The manufacturer said 800 days and
We need
figure that's
to-
gonna be later.
Sell it at that price and live with that price 2 years later when they deliver it.
Like, if you lock in the contract right now, will
Yeah.
it still honor it? Yes. So the reason they didn't for your tender, little backstory, is because of commercial chassis. So because they don't make the chassis on that truck, they can't control the price of it. But because they assemble the ladder would be all their own chassis, they
Okay.
manufacture it all. They don't do price increases on those chassis. So the price you lock in now will be the price that you get in 2026 or 2027 when it comes, 2025, whatever, late 2025, early 2026. So
What's the village's appetite look like?
I mean, we're going through the financial management plan right now, and it's not pretty, any way you look at it. Even
No,
with,
that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's gonna be $1 million on both of our budgets.
I'm trying to recall, it wasn't this last meeting, but the meeting before that was a special meeting a couple weeks ago. We did nothing. We still have to go to referendum in 27 because of the levy limits. You know, there's a handful of projects, but nothing of real note. You know, I believe the ladder truck was in there, but we still have to go just to pay the bills, keep the lights on, you know, with inflation and everything. So
yeah, and I know when I sent it to you guys, Matt was kind of questioning why we would order it earlier.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we just order it in 2026 and still get it in 2028? I think he was thinking we were ordering it because of the lead time. I don't think he realized because of the cost savings, but like I said in the email to him and to you guys, like, we completely understand, like, if your budget's already set, you know, we're not telling you to upend anything, but we're just looking at it from a financial sense that if you can buy the truck right now for 1.7, or you can buy it in 3 years for 2.5, that's pretty significant. I mean, that's like 4 years of our operating budget.
$700,000, $800,000.
So,
I think for us, the real challenge is understanding, because it is a capital asset, we can do a general obligation debt. So understanding with all the other projects that the village wants to do is like, what is what's the total amount of debt I can take on per year over an extended period of time? Knowing that this is one of many, many, many projects that we want to do, so, right? So we asked Ellers to come back to us and say, okay, what is that number that I can do on an annual basis to keep it so that my debt, I'm not going over my debt ceiling or my recommended debt ceiling, right? You can go to, Wisconsin says you can go to 100%, but your bond rating goes to nothing, and you guys know what I'm talking about.
Pay a lot of interest. Yeah.
But it's, I don't think they came, did they come back yet with a number? I wasn't there on Monday, so. I still want Nick to come and talk to the village, just so we, like,
Yeah,
Nick does a better job of explaining it than I can.
and I think the town would like it too. I mean, it's gonna be something that we should all consider as board members.
Well, I guess my feeling is when you look at Dane County as a whole, and I thought this came up with PAA when they were here, how many ladder trucks do we need in the county to service everything?
Yeah.
And I don't know what that number is or where their placement is, but
So,
But you could always
Dane
add that
County-
into the presentation, couldn't
so
you?
Dane County is pretty heavy on aerial devices. That is true. There's an abundance of them, but Dane County is also probably one of the more wealthy counties of all the state. But the big thing is it affects both your ISO ratings. So if we went, there's enough ladders around us, we don't need a ladder truck anymore. Well, that's an instant hit. I mean, that instantly cuts points right off the top of your ISO score. So like I said, our goal is to get you guys, the town's pretty set, 510. It's never gonna get better because of the distance from a
no.
water source. But the village,
Even with my dry hydrant?
even with your the village is pretty close to it too, and we realistically think it's achievable. So what if we decide, well, a ladder truck, we don't need one, let's cut it out, then it's gonna be a lot more challenging to get to a 2 or even stay a 3. It might be a challenge to stay as a 3 then, you know, and that's, for those who don't know, ISO affects homeowners insurance. So it's your rating that affects their rate for homeowners. So
No, you've got buildings now in the village, but in what, 2000, whenever we bought the ladder, there was a lot less big buildings at the time. Now there's bigger buildings.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean, just if you looked at the maple tree last night, boom, they had 2 ladders there right away, and you can understand when you're going over things that saves everybody from getting multiple ladders.
Yeah, I would think for this, I mean, let's keep the conversation going, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
I think
I mean, we're not
Makes
on
sense.
anything. There, like I said, the one manufacturer, which is Pierce, has already given us a price. The other one that we're shopping out is it's E1 or KME. They rep both manufacturers. We're trying to decide which one of those 2 we would like to go with, I guess, to be comparable. And then we'll look at the 2 prices like we typically do and present it to you guys. So we're not out anything we've already pretty much done the spec.
Yeah.
We're using a lot of this other specs that we've had on the other trucks we bought, so it's not too challenging to put it together. It's just, like I said, the village knew about it, but the town really didn't, so I wanted to make sure the full JFC knew about it and kind of get their thoughts, I guess.
With having your capital outlay and finding out the information, how far they're out, what their planned price increases were, trying to keep up to make sure you all had the information that Nick got for what the prices were gonna look like as we try to keep those numbers up, rather than saying, okay, there's this number that you're planning on 5 years from now, knowing full well that that number's not
realistic.
even a realistic number. So I'm trying to keep up with the times. So that's probably the main reason that otherwise we weren't even thinking about it.
I mean, there is something to be said too. I mean, it's when that truck does go end of life. I mean, that's a 25-year-old truck. I mean, that's an old, any other car or truck that's an antique, right? I mean, that's.
Yeah, but I mean, there's gonna be a community that's gonna want it, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, I mean.
Sure, but I guess the point that I'm making it, and we've even seen it in my time, like you have to nickel and diming it, right? Things start to break, hydraulic hoses, all that stuff, right? So like, I can make the argument, but man, they're just so damn expensive. So,
And I agree wholeheartedly. I mean,
It's just like-
It's like
you're talking
3 years before you replace it, you have to buy $10,000 in tires.
Well, that is in the capital budget, is
Yeah.
to buy $3,000 worth of tires. This year, we had $20,000 in the repair fund for trucks. That was something we added this year. And like, almost all of it went into the ladder. There's a few other repairs, but almost all of it was ladder
Hydraulics.
repairs. Well, the hydraulics got done last year, but this year it was like the batteries, the battery charging system went bad.
Yeah.
There's compressor, the air compressor for the brakes went bad.
It costs money to keep running.
Cost of doing business. So I guess to wrap a bow on this one, right? Nick, you're coming, is it the next?
The next one, which will be not
Village
Monday,
board
but
meeting?
Yeah.
And then it sounds like the town wants to hear the same pitch and.
I mean, we're gonna need it to make the choice.
Yeah. So what I'll put it on the next agenda then.
Yeah.
And we can see where it goes from there.
Sure.
It's a nice segue. Next agenda, future agenda items. So right now I have discuss and consider flooring estimates for flooring replacement in the ESB basement. Then I've got the L1 replacement plan. Any others?
Where are we on the
Yes, thank you.
fire agreement?
I've been working with the attorney. It's my schedule and his schedule hasn't always worked out great, but we will come at the next meeting.
Okay.
to talk about. Because we did go through all the major sections, so it's really just waiting on me and the lawyer, so. Do that one. Any other items?
I don't think so.
Okay, and then next meeting date, so. See here, this was originally, what, last
We'll
week?
meet on the 24th or on Halloween.
Let's see here.
Treat.
Trick or treat.
We need to make a trip. Did you see the-
So I have to be in New York the 24th for work. I could do, I either do that remote on the 24th or we could do 26th, the 27th, or the 31st.
Can't do the 26th. I could do the 27th.
Why not the 27th?
27th works.
They're gonna be here,
Yeah, I'll be here.
Thursdays,
That work for you, Chris?
right now, Thursdays aren't working I'm actually in a class, I'm supposed to be at class tonight, but I missed it to come to this. So if possible, could we keep it till Monday? Can we do the 31st?
What about the 24th?
He's out of
No, he's out of town. Could we go to like maybe November 2nd? It's a Wednesday.
That one's tough.
This is
Third.
I'm pretty much open for anything at night.
Well,
That's a Thursday though, so you'll have a class.
Yeah, up until like mid-November, late November. I have a class Thursday nights.
Should we just skip and go right to the end of November then?
Yep. I'm thinking. November 28th?
28th?
Yep, November 28th at 6:30.
Works for me.
Okay. So
I move we adjourn.
I have a motion for adjournment and a second, non-debatable. All those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. We will see you on November 28th at 6:30.